What's up, Steelers fans? Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the latest news, rumors, and everything you need to know about our Pittsburgh Steelers. As always, the organization is laser-focused on improving the roster, fine-tuning every detail, and getting this team to where it belongs, back in championship contention. Before we dive into this packed off-season breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update. Let's get those likes rolling. Steelers Nation deserves to stay informed. Now, let's jump into the hot topics dominating the headlines, from potential free agent signings to the big quarterback decision looming over the franchise. Let's kick things off with some big news coming directly from team owner Art Rooney II. Speaking to reporters earlier this week, Rooney made it clear that the Steelers are open to making a splash in free agency if the right opportunity presents itself. Here's what he had to say. "I think we always have to look at opportunities, and if we can add somebody that's going to make a difference for us, we've got to do that. We've never been adverse to doing it. But you have to have the right guy show up at the right time and right place. Hopefully, we'll have some opportunities this spring." Translation? The Steelers aren't afraid to go big this offseason. We've seen this in the past. Just last year, Pittsburgh signed linebacker Patrick Queen to a 3-year, $41 million deal, making him one of the highest-paid inside linebackers in the league. Moves like these signal that the front office is willing to spend money to bring in high-impact players. So, who could the Steelers target this year? Wide receiver seems like an obvious position to address. While the team could draft a playmaker, like Ohio State's Emeka Egbuka or Texas's Matthew Golden in the first round, free agency might offer a quicker solution. Names like T. Higgins or Chris Godwin have been floated as potential targets, and either would bring veteran leadership and proven production to a position group that desperately needs both. Wide receiver isn't the only area where the Steelers could make moves. Cornerback is another position to watch, especially with Dante Jackson and Cam Sutton's contracts set to expire. Losing both would leave a significant hole in the secondary, so expect Pittsburgh to explore options in both free agency and the draft. At running back, Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren are both hitting the market. Harris's potential departure is a major storyline, as he's been a key part of the offense since being drafted. While Warren is a restricted free agent and could return, on a team-friendly deal, the Steelers might also look to add depth at the position. The defensive line is another area that could see changes. Larry Ogunjobi, who is entering the final year of his contract, is a potential cap casualty. Reinforcements on the interior would help shore up a unit that has been inconsistent at times. Now, let's get to the elephant in the room, the quarterback situation. The Steelers currently have two viable options in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, both of whom signed one-year deals last season. Wilson took over as the starter in Week 7 after recovering from a preseason calf injury, while Fields started the first 6 games of the year. Here's the kicker. Art Rooney, too, doesn't see a scenario where both quarterbacks return in 2025. In his words, "I wouldn't close the door, but I'd say it's probably unlikely. I think both of them see themselves as starters, and I don't know that they want to share the same job again next year. My preference would be to sign one of them. That'll be the priority, and I think that will give us the best opportunity to move forward." It's clear that the Steelers view both Wilson and Fields as capable starters, but only one will be back next season. Wilson, despite missing time early in the year, earned Pro Bowl honors after throwing for 2,182 yards, 16 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions in 11 starts. His veteran leadership was a stabilizing force in the locker room, even as the team stumbled down the stretch. Fields, on the other hand, brings youth and athleticism to the table. At 25 years old, he still has untapped potential and could be a long-term solution at quarterback. The decision will likely come down to whether the Steelers prioritize immediate results with Wilson or take a gamble on Fields' upside. Here's the good news. The Steelers have some financial flexibility heading into the offseason. With over $40 million in projected cap space and the potential to free up more by releasing players or restructuring contracts, the front office has the resources to make impactful moves. The key will be balancing short-term needs with long-term goals. Can the Steelers address their most glaring weaknesses while keeping an eye on the future? And will they take a big swing in free agency or focus on building through the draft? Steelers Nation, let's start with the facts. Since 1969, Pittsburgh has been the definition of stability when it comes to head coaches. From Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher and now Mike Tomlin, we've only had 3 head coaches in over 5 decades. That consistency has been a cornerstone of the franchise's identity. Mike Tomlin is about to enter his 19th season as head coach. A remarkable run in today's NFL. He's never had a losing season and is one of the most respected names in the league. But let's be honest, Steelers fans, the patience in Pittsburgh is wearing thin. The team hasn't won a playoff game since 2016, and for a franchise with 6 Super Bowl titles, that's simply not good enough. The frustration among fans is palpable. Many are calling for change, and that's where these recent trade rumors come into play. On Monday, Steelers owner Art Rooney II confirmed something that had been floating around in NFL insider circles. Other teams have been calling about Mike Tomlin. The Chicago Bears were reportedly the only team to formally reach out, but according to Adam Schefter, several teams showed interest in gauging the Steelers' willingness to make a move. Rooney downplayed the situation, saying, "It really didn't go very far. We weren't interested in really pursuing it, and so it was a pretty short conversation." So, what's the deal here? Why would teams want to trade for a head coach, and why would the Steelers even consider it? Let's break it down. First, Mike Tomlin's reputation speaks for itself. He's a proven winner, a strong leader, and a coach who has consistently gotten the best out of his rosters, even in down years. Teams like the Bears, who have been searching for stability and a strong culture, see Tomlin as a game changer. Coaching trades are rare, but they're not unheard of. The most recent example was Sean Payton's move to the Denver Broncos from the New Orleans Saints. The Broncos had to give up a first-round pick and swap a second-round pick for a third-round pick to land Payton. For a team like the Bears, trading for Tomlin could have been worth it. But for Pittsburgh, the question becomes, is trading a head coach with Tomlin's track record worth the potential draft capital? Art Rooney II made it clear that the Steelers were never seriously interested in moving on from Tomlin. There are a few reasons for that. Stability. The Steelers pride themselves on being a stable, well-run organization. Firing or trading a head coach goes against everything the franchise stands for. Tomlin's contract. Tomlin signed an extension in 2024 that keeps him under contract through 2027. Trading him would have required navigating his no-trade clause and potentially paying out part of his guaranteed salary. Draft capital versus leadership. While gaining high draft picks is tempting, Rooney and the front office clearly value Tomlin's leadership and experience more than the uncertainty of draft selections. Still, the idea of a trade has sparked debate among fans. Could trading Tomlin have been a way to hit the reset button on a franchise that seems stuck in neutral? Let's play devil's advocate for a second. If the Steelers had entertained the idea of trading Tomlin, what could they have gained? Based on the Sean Payton trade, Pittsburgh could have likely netted a first-round pick and additional draft assets. For a team that's usually in the middle of the pack, missing out on elite draft prospects, this kind of haul could have been a game-changer. A trade also would have allowed the Steelers to move on from Tomlin's contract, which still has several years of guaranteed money. That financial flexibility could have been used to address other areas of need, from bolstering the roster to bringing in new coaching talent. But here's the flip side. Trading a coach like Tomlin doesn't guarantee success. Just look at the Denver Broncos this past season. Even with Sean Payton, they struggled to turn things around. If you were hoping for big changes to the coaching staff this offseason, Steelers fans, don't hold your breath. Rooney also addressed the coaching staff during his media availability and made it clear that no significant changes are expected. This news is sure to frustrate fans who feel the team needs a shakeup. Philosophically, the Steelers seem stuck in their ways, and without fresh ideas or new perspectives on the coaching staff, it's hard to see how things improve in 2025. So, Where does that leave us heading into the 2025 season? The Steelers are coming off yet another year of disappointment, and the fan base is divided. Some still believe in Tomlin's ability to lead this team back to glory, while others think it's time for a new voice in the locker room. The reality is this: as long as Tomlin is the head coach, the Steelers will likely remain competitive. But is competitive enough? Can this team make the necessary roster changes to finally break through in the postseason, or are we destined for another year of mediocrity? All right, Steelers fans, now it's your turn to chime in. What do you think about the direction the team should take this offseason? Free agency. Should the Steelers go after a big-name wide receiver like T. Higgins, or would you prefer they focus on other positions of need? Quarterback decision. Who should the Steelers bring back? Russell, Wilson, or Justin Fields? Or should they explore other options entirely? 3. The draft. Should the team use its first-round pick on a wide receiver, cornerback, or another position? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Steelers Nation, the 2025 offseason is shaping up to be one of the most important in recent memory. With key decisions to make at quarterback, wide receiver, and across the roster, the next few months will determine the direction of this team for years to come. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And as always, here we go, Steelers!